Hello everyone, Ippyhater here, and welcome back to my Let's Play for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is part 6. So in the last episode, we made it back to the castle. We have talked to Zelda through the Ocarina. And of course, they are being, her and Impa are being chased by Ganondorf now. So, we have just a little bit left to go before we head to the Temple of Time. A couple more things I have on the agenda. Not yet, Navi. God, she is picky. Alright, so there is a gold scatilla down here. And that is gold scatilla number 41. So we're going to be getting 2 more beans. We're going to need 130 rupees for this, because there's... I think the current one that we got to get is number 7, which costs 70 rupees, and then the 8th will cost, 60 rupees. 6th one will cost 60 rupees, 7th will cost 70. That sounds right. 130 rupees, 140 rupees, either way, we're going to be fine. He sells a total of 10, but we can actually only really utilize the benefits right now of 8 of them. There is 6, that's 60 rupees, 70 rupees. We'll come back to buy the final 3 right before we transition to the adult Link portion of the game. So one of these will be for the mountain. The other one will be for the graveyard. So we're coming in here at night initially, almost morning. So we'll go ahead and get the rewards real quick. 30 gets us Giant's wallet. Now we can hold up to 500 rupees. And 40 gets us the bomb chew. And that is 43. Now, as I said, there's actually a 44th we can get as a child in the Dodongo Cavern here. It just simply requires getting to the second floor and not activating the bomb staircase. But since we have to come back here as an adult anyway, and both are accessible as an adult, we're just going to go ahead and leave it here. But you could technically get 44 as a child. All right. Hey, you know what? We need to go trade this mask in the graveyard. I almost spaced on that. Should have done it earlier. There's the kid. Alright, we have made 80 rupees. Or, well, we've got 30 rupees. We didn't make anything, unfortunately. So now we are heading back to the castle, and we're gonna get the final mask that we can sell. And one of the reasons why I kind of timed it this way is because the person we're going to sell it to is going to give us basically a full wallet of rupees. So it's a great idea to do this right after we get the largest wallet. So I'm not going to bother refilling here on rupees. If you're looking for rupees, by the way, you can also bomb the center of Kakariko Village. There's a chest underneath the ground that contains, I think, 200 rupees. I don't think it's that useful, though. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and borrow the bunny hood. All right, so you'll notice that we're moving a little bit faster than we otherwise would. We can also jump farther, too. This is actually an effect of the bunny hood that you'll normally only find in Majora's Mask, but it is something that they ported as an option that you can turn on and off in the Ocarina of Time or Ocarina of Time game. Again, part of the recompilation. This is the guy, by the way, that we are looking for. However, he only stops when he's to rest, and he'll always stop here, as well as a few other places. So this is a reliable way to always get him in the same place. So he's going to completely fill our wallet, and now we're going to head back. Another effect, by the way, that mask has is it makes the enemies out here not spawn. Kind of a nice little extra. That was actually in the original game, too. And it is just about daylight already. So we now have the Mask of Truth. The Mask of Truth, whenever we wear it, we'll get secret dialogue from most NPCs. Gives you a lot more information about the world around you. However, it has another purpose, and that purpose is to get one of the final upgrades. Now, there's a caveat with this final upgrade, and that is the fact that if you don't get this final upgrade before you get the Poacher's Saw, it becomes unobtainable. And because we're going to be getting the Bigoron Sword very, very early, probably in the next episode, actually, I like to get this now because otherwise it will become unobtainable before the next time we even become a kid again. So we're first going to go ahead and go buy the rest of the magic beans. Then we're going to go back to the Lost Woods. And we're going back to the forest stage area. This will also be where we're going to use our final bean. Again, technically there are two more, but we can't use them until much, much later. So because these become so expensive, this is why we wanted the Giant's wallet. So now we are headed back to the shortcut. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and drop some beans here. And this is the upgrade that we can't get if we've obtained the poacher's saw, which is required for the Biggoron sword. Anyway, they don't much like this mask, but it's what will get us a upgrade to our Deku Nuts. And that is it. That is the last of the stuff that we can do as Child Link. Actually, it might have been faster to go back through the shortcut. It's fine. So now we are headed to the castle. More specifically, to the Temple of Time. And I remember when I first played this game, I thought the moment that we're about to experience is extremely epic. It also was kind of a surprise to me because I didn't really know how long these games were whenever I first started playing them. In addition, most of my gaming back then was very casual. Things like sports games, things like Mario. So I wasn't anticipating a game quite as long as this ended up being, and so I thought this was the end. In fact, I'd never played any of the previous Zelda games at this point in time. But this is basically just the 1/3 point of this game. The Mask of Truth, by the way, can also be used to talk to these things. These are the Stones of Truth. I can imagine what that would be like with a full-on remake. And an orchestral score. Sword in the Stone. Master Sword. list. We've grown up. And that gets us our first medallion. From here, we have 5 more major dungeons to deal with. Technically 6 if you count the final castle. As well as 2 more side dungeons to deal with. Technically 3 if you count the ice arrows. And while we're not entirely starting from scratch, a lot of our gear is unavailable to us now. that is going to give us our immediate direction. So in the next episode, what we're going to be working on is obtaining the Vigoron sword. I always get it basically first thing after becoming an adult. As you can see, though, the world has been utterly destroyed. The castle is something else entirely. But with that, I think that's gonna be it for this episode, everybody. In the next episode, we are going to be traveling to Kakariko Village, as well as Lon Lon Ranch. But until then, thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Later.